guys and gals? Never here from Drake Queen Gaming and Sunny Mounts Wood of the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you with the Let's Play episode of Rain Check. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up and let's go. Alrighty. Eventually we make our way back to where I first entered from, and I see Rhou off in the distance, completely drenched from head to toe. Rhou! Jesus! I rush over to Rhou, clearly looks annoyed. That bastard. You're not hurt, are you? What happened? He extends out a paw from his pocket, revealing the same knife that was used on Javier earlier. There's a particular pointedness to this knife that makes me nervous just looking at it. The fox takes out a small Ziploc bag from within his coat and gingerly stores it inside. How exotic! I've never seen a blade as sharp as this. I'm glad it's in my paws instead of on my neck. Wait, isn't this the snow leopard's? He threw it at me when I was trying to catch him, but... The wolf looks outside, and it's only now that I realize how hard it's storming. Rhou, your shoulder! I stare in disbelief as I point at the dark red soaked stain that's slowly seeping down his coat. Heh, I'll be fine. He only grazed me. Will you please be more careful? What am I going to do if you get hurt? Though, we've made a lot of progress tonight, which means I have a lot to process. Okay, so what do we do now? We leave, especially since Rhou here is injured. But it's pouring outside. Rhou walks over and wraps me underneath his coat, which is surprisingly dry on the inside. Come on, it's getting late. 3508, 3509. I wonder what Rhou wants to talk about at this time of night. I'm here. The door swings open and I'm greeted with the sight of Rhou and just his jock straps. Oh, my. Oh, is this a bad time? I can come back later. No, come in. It's late enough. I decide to plop down on the sofa, trying my best to not stare at Rhou as Rhou changes. So, how's your shoulder? The wolf scoffs and gives me a grin. I told you, it's just a graze. Nothing to worry about. You say that, but it's not every day I see someone get shot. He quickly flexes his broad arms and gives a shrug back. I'm fine. If you say so. I can't help but sneak a few glances over at Rhou, admiring his well-defined back muscles through his coffee-red fur. Anyway, what's up? Why'd you ask me to come over? You said it was something important? We can talk about that later. You haven't eaten yet, have you? We both stare at my stomach that grumbles on cue. Ha! No. Perfect. Dinner's on me. Let's go. Wait, what? Go where? It's almost 11. What's even open at this time? Javier made reservations at the Escapade, but he's passing. He said he had too much work to do tonight. This late? He's a workaholic. What can you expect? So what do you say? I think I'll pass too. Well, today's been crazy and I'm mentally and physically exhausted. Rhou shakes his head disapprovingly. Alright, what do you want to eat? Huh? Forget the reservation, I'll order something instead. But I thought your phone was broken. Finally got a replacement from Javier earlier. Oh, in that case, you can order whatever you want. I'm not picky. He chuckles as he finishes zipping up his pants. Got it. I'll surprise you. There, it'll take a bit before the food's here. The wolf puts his new phone away before sitting down on the bed. Nice, what did you order? You'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, I hope you're doing well, after everything today. Hope it wasn't too traumatic. Wait, no. Oh, it was okay. Definitely a new experience for me. What about you? You've always been asking me how I've been, but I don't think I've ever stopped to ask about you. He ponders at me for a few seconds, seemingly thinking how to reply. I'm fine. Rhou looks away, yet I can't help but give back a smile. That's good. You said you're here for the convention, right? Any plans after? I sigh at the thought of returning back home and applying for jobs. No, not much afterwards. Fly back, start reapplying for jobs, look after the house, look after my mother. I stop myself as I realize I'm starting to ramble on. Sorry. Don't be. Is your mother ill, if you don't mind me asking? No, she's fine, at least physically. She was diagnosed with chronic depression shortly after my father passed away. Sorry I asked. No, it's okay. I've pretty much gotten used to it for the most part. I take in a deep sigh and stare out the window. Hey, can I ask a silly question? What is it? What's on your mind? Do you think there's life out there in space? Do you believe in a greater power? Or do you think time travel will be a thing? What the fuck is this small talk? You think there's life out there in space? My eyes fixated the night sky before locking onto an airplane soaring by. Do you think there's life out there in space? I try to sound as serious as possible, but Rhou shoots me a look. Like aliens? Yeah, kinda. Space is so vast there's billions and billions of galaxies out there, each with their own planets. Maybe some of the planets even have life and their own societies and government and creatures living their own lives, their own struggles. Maybe even one of them is looking up at their own their own night sky, wondering the same thing. He strokes his chin, lost in thought. I've never thought about it like that. Maybe. Who knows? I chuckle back at Rhou, who looks confused. Why do you ask? You don't look like an astronomer. Well, sometimes when life's too much, I'm not sure what to do. I think about just how small we all are in the grand scheme of things. How much we don't matter and how silly all our problems are. I hope that makes sense. The wolf smiles back and I can't help but follow. You have a lot on your mind, don't you? His words take me aback, although I shouldn't be surprised that he could tell. It's pretty obvious at this point. Probably not as much as you. To be frank, I couldn't care less about aliens or even most people, but we all have our struggles. We just need to tackle them one at a time. I nod, internalizing his words as I stare off at the darkened horizon. You believe in a greater power? Oh, I got another stupid question. It's not stupid. Go ahead. I stare at my paws before refocusing my attention at Rhou. Do you think there's some kind of god out there? The wolf cranes his head, his brows furrowing at my question. No. Do you? I shake my head. Me neither. Maybe I did when I was little. All I remember was that after discovering about God, I thought there was someone out there watching over us, over me. But I gave up on that thinking soon after my dad passed away. That was a pretty naive way of thinking, but what kind of God lets their people suffer? I can't speak much about gods and such, but that isn't a naive way of thinking. The world is filled with its evils. What's wrong with wanting to feel safe? I return a small smile as I find some comfort in his words. There isn't. Things might be difficult at times, but it'll pass. It always does. And if it doesn't, well, you've got bigger problems to worry about at that point. Yeah. You think time travel will be a thing? Okay, this is the last question, I promise. I give Rhou an earnest smile as he returns a doubtful smirk. I'm not your therapist, you know, but go ahead. He chuckles and we both end up staring at the cityscape below. I watched this documentary before about time travel, and, well, do you think it'll ever be real? It's already real. We're moving through time every moment. Ha, okay, smart guy, but do you ever think we could travel back in time? With how technology's been advancing these days, who knows? But I'm doubtful. Would you travel back in time if you could? You'd be able to go back and fix your mistakes and maybe even change the past. Because I know I would. Rhou doesn't answer immediately, his face appearing conflicted with how he's staring at me. Eventually, he looks down at his lap and then finally to me. No, I wouldn't. But why not? Simple. I believe we're defined by our experiences, our failures, our accomplishments, our memories. It's what makes us who we are today. And I wouldn't want to be anybody else but me. His words weigh heavy, and I can tell they're from the heart. Something about it puts me at ease. We sit there in a comforting silence for a few moments, admiring the scenery below. You know, I used to be like you once upon a time. What do you mean? Full of wonder and introspectiveness. It's a crazy world out there, Theodore, and I don't blame you for feeling this way. Just make sure you don't lose sight of what's important to you, and you'll be alright. I nod slowly. He gets up and smirks at me. Next time you want to be philosophical, give me a heads up. I was expecting a joke when you said silly. Looks like the food's here. I might take a bit. Feel free to entertain yourself. I give Rhou an earnest smile as he picks up the TV remote and tosses it on the bed. Thanks. Be back. Man, that really drained me. I guess I could see what's on while I wait. I flip through the channels and the local news station catches my eye. Look at you. Now to bring you the latest breaking news. Large groups of protesters have gathered outside City Hall in protest against new city bylaws. Locals say it's only a matter of time before things get chaotic. The screen cuts to a shot of what I can only assume is a city official being swarmed by a mob of people. Yikes, wouldn't want to be him. The new proposed law would allow zoning laws to be less strict, allowing companies to build their factories and waste management deeper into the city. Concerns were raised when locals discovered just how much pollutant would be dumped into neighboring areas, particularly the sea. The mayor has commented that this is, quote, what the local economy needs to grow, end quote, but many of these protests would disagree. I'm joined with local now. Please, sir, can you tell me just how important this issue means to you? Hmm? There's a sudden weightlessness as my body touches something soft. Huh? Rhou, what are you doing? I slowly get up and I realize that I'm now on the bed. When did that happen? I didn't mean to wake you. I saw you practically falling off the sofa. Oh. I let out a long yawn, trying to remember what I was doing before I drifted off. There's food on the counter. How long was I asleep? About 10 minutes. My face starts to flush from embarrassment. I see. My nose twitches as I smell something fragrant off in the distance. I get up and am immediately dumbfounded by the amount of pizza present. What the hell? You ordered 4 boxes? You're not the only one with an appetite. We spend the next little while devouring the pizza, only slowing down on the last box. Full? The wolf stretches his arms, revealing just how stuffed his stomach really is. Yeah, you can say that again. I feel like I could pass out at any moment. You sure you don't want seconds? I could order more. I'm good. Any more and I'd throw up. I thought you'd have a bigger stomach than that, especially after everything today. What's up? You know, in terms of your situation, it's safe to say that whoever's in charge of Blackout, they won't be contacting you anymore. Javier and I suspect something had scared them off between sometime in the morning and evening when we arrived. That's great to hear. Rhu's ears briefly flatten, and for a moment a frown flickers across his face. Right? Our responsibility with you is over since there's no longer any threat. Right. The wolf sighs and returns a bittersweet smile. It's been an interesting and enjoyable 2 days with you, to say the least, but you really shouldn't be involved in this any more than you need to. You could have died earlier. His words make sense, and I should be happy that it's finally over. There's a feeling of emptiness that I can't shake off. I nod back, not really sure what to say. Is this what you wanted to talk about earlier? He nods back solemnly. As much as I like having you around, I have a job to do. You understand, right? I sigh. I know. Honestly, this was the first time I felt like I was doing something important in a long while. So this was a good opportunity, and trying to prove something for myself. Though, I feel like I can still do more, if you let me, you know? Sorry, I'm rambling on. I know this is going to sound so stupid, but I thought because you were looking after me, I let out an awkward chuckle and pull out the segmenter that's still in my pocket. I'm sure Javier told you, but I kind of botched the investigation earlier with this. I hand it back to Rhou while staring at the ground, avoiding eye contact. Can we still hang out? Sorry, we can't. But why? I ask without thinking. It's obvious why. I look up and see Rhou conflicted. You should go. He looks like he wants to tell me something, but is holding back. Okay. Thanks for everything. And let Javier know, too. I turn around and make my way for the exit. Theodore. Take care. I shouldn't try and get too attached. I should have known from the start that our friendship would have been temporary. At least everything's back to normal. It feels so weird being in here. Despite everything, these past 2 days might just be the highlight of my trip, as crazy as that sounds. I sigh as the empty feeling grows more apparent. I need to get a grip, but I'm not sure what's wrong with me. Maybe a bath will clear my mind. I glance down at the tub, then my gaze shifts to the bruise on my thigh. Definitely looks worse than it feels. I'm glad Rhou was able to take a look at it. Rhou. I'm still not sure what to think of what happened earlier, but I slowly grope myself, recalling the smell and taste of the large maroon wolf. Fuck. No, I shouldn't. I should try to plan out what to do tomorrow instead. Oh, shit. I panic and turn the valve shut before the water overflows. Just how long was I spacing out for? I carefully lower myself into the tub, the hot water spilling from my weight. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Before I go, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our lovely bronze tier patrons. Thank you all if I do for the channel. We greatly appreciate your support. Thank you to our silver tier patron, Cade Summer, and thank you going above and beyond. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks to our 2 gold tier patrons, Zeke and Toby. Y'all are awesome. We love you. Thank you for subbing to Ultimate Tier. Anyway, if y'all want to get your names in the credits, get access to all of our not safe for work contents as little as $5. Alrighty, I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!